I'm Kristen Denny-Chambers, clarinetist, composer, and founder of Clarinet Playground. This is video number 39 out of 40, going through all the etudes in Finger Fitness Études Book 2. This one is for Kentucky Dogwoods. Kentucky Dogwoods is dedicated to Connie Rhoades. With more than 30 years as a professional clarinetist, Dr. Connie Rhoades has a deep love for music, the clarinet, and helping her students develop their musical gifts. Prior to moving to Oklahoma in 2019, Dr. Rhoades served as Eastern Kentucky University's clarinet professor for 27 years and for 5 years as the associate chair of the School of Music. Dr. Rhoades enjoys teaching students of all ages, including middle school and high school students who attended the Stephen Collins Foster Music Camp, at which she taught during the summers from 1992 to 2018. Under her leadership at EKU, her university and private students excelled, winning numerous solo competitions, top chairs in the Kentucky Intercollegiate Band and Orchestra, and the Kentucky All-State Bands and Orchestra. As a seasoned performer herself, Dr. Rhoades has enjoyed playing in orchestral, chamber music, and solo settings. She has served as the principal clarinetist of the Paragon Music Theater Orchestra in Kentucky, and as second clarinetist in the Oklahoma Sinfonia Tulsa Pops Orchestra, where she also appeared as a soloist. She has also performed with the Oklahoma City Symphony and the Lexington Philharmonic, and currently subs with the Signature Symphony in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I will leave her entire bio down in the notes so that you can read more about Connie. I met Connie when she moved to Oklahoma in 2019. I was busy with little kids, but we did manage to grab a coffee once or twice and have a nice conversation. We had plans to hang out more, but then of course the pandemic hit, but we kept up our communication through email. The connection with Connie is very special because once our doors were closed and we were locked down, that's when I was really getting into writing Finger Fitness Etudes Book 1. And I had written about 3 or 4 of them, and I cautiously sent them to her and said, I think I'm writing an etude book. Can you tell me what you think about these? And she liked them, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to send a few more. What do you think? And by the time I had a good handful, 10 or 15 of them, I finally convinced myself, okay, I'm writing an etude book. And she was such a great cheerleader early on in those stages, and I really appreciate that. Connie confessed that one of the things she misses most about teaching at Eastern Kentucky University was looking out her studio window and seeing the beautiful Kentucky dogwoods. So this is what this piece is all about. Let's take a look at the music. At the bottom of the page, you'll find 1 or 2 practice tips. For this one, we have study and practice the following G minor pentatonic scale in order to prepare for this etude. That includes notes G, B flat, C, D, F, and then of course it wraps back around to G. And I'll show you an exercise for this a little bit later. At the top of the page, you'll find 2 finger drills. These are so important to practice because this is what is folded right into the music. We are continuing, as we finish this book, of crossing registers, connecting the break, however you want to phrase that. We can continue to use our right hand down, although we have fewer and fewer fingers that we're using for that, especially now we're going from B flat to F. So as you go from B flat to F, your first finger of your right hand can be down so that that'll facilitate that connection to be a little bit cleaner. B flat over to F. And then you can also do the same thing when you go to the G flat or F sharp. So B flat to F sharp, that middle finger can stay right there. I also like to play the upper note first to establish my sound, make sure my air is really up and running and I'm going to have a good connection, and then I'll play the drill. For the style and character of this etude, we have moderato shimmering with brilliance. So imagine the Kentucky dogwoods blowing in the breeze, the leaves rustling, all of those good things. And then also we have 2 other characters. So this etude is full of different shifts and we want to be ready for those. So the playfully sections are lighter and they can push ahead. And then the gently and mournfully sections are smoother and slower, a little bit more expressive, and nodding back to a memory or something like that. we take a look at the rhythm for this etude, there is a lot of variety, including some syncopation and some tied notes. So we're going to run into 16th notes, different combinations of 16ths and 8ths, like the 16th, 8th, 16th figure, and on beat 2, 2 16ths followed by an 8th. There's some dotted 8ths and 16ths later, 8th notes, quarters, dotted quarters, half notes, and even a whole note to round out the end of the etude. So we want to count very carefully, starting at measure 5 this way. 1 T, ta 2 T te, 3 T, ta 4 T te ta, 1 T te ta, 2 T te ta, 3 T te ta, 4 T te ta, 1. And a little quicker. The ties and syncopation also make the rhythm very interesting. So if we look at measure 9, we have 1 te, te 3, te 4, te 1, 2 te, te 4, te 1. And a little quicker. Now we'll dig in a little deeper with some areas for focus. We're going to go back to that note at the bottom of the page that talks about practicing the G minor pentatonic scale. So here we have a 2-octave version of this. It basically covers the full range that's shown in this etude. So this will help you get accustomed to the note groupings and notice the B flat in the key signature. I'm going to play this very slowly and I'm going to slur and then I'll try it a little bit quicker. Now we'll take a look at some of the music that showcases this scale pattern. In measure 6, we're mostly on the low side and we have some mixed articulation. Of course, start slowly and then build up your speed. In measure 38, it's very similar to the beginning, but I love how it starts on the lower side and then catches up to the original music from the very beginning. Now as we look at the playfully sections, they have a lot of syncopation and some low note coordination in the 16th note patterns. So we want to really make sure we're looking ahead for those 16th notes, especially if we're going to speed up in these areas. So if we look at the first one, we see that syncopation followed by some 16th notes, but then down in measure 25, notice the difference, and the difference is mainly the accents. It's a little bit more punchy, a little bit more bright. And now the gently and mournfully sections provide another layer of contrast. Now we get to be more held back. This is sort of reflective. We're thinking back on a memory. If we think about Connie Rhoades and how she's moved from Kentucky to Oklahoma, and she misses looking out her studio window and seeing these beautiful Kentucky dogwood trees. So that is what this is supposed to embrace. Now for some final thoughts. Kentucky Dogwoods looks simple on the surface, but there are 3 styles showcased in this one page of music. Work on each style separately and then put the music back together. Fluidity and clean technique are also needed in the 16th note passages. The goal is to play as effortlessly as possible so you can have the freedom to be expressive while imagining the dogwood trees flowing gracefully in the breeze. Have fun with the music. To listen to a beautiful recording of this etude and all other etudes from this book, head over to my website, clarinetplayground.com. Trevor Stewart has recorded all 40 etudes beautifully, and they are available for purchase there on my website. Feel free to join us in the Clarinet Playground group on Facebook where we play and post for each other. And head over to my website at clarinetplayground.com for more fun music and books. Thank you so much.